what drew you to look around with the science of red light and explore that and its benefits to the body?
You know, it really started when I was in college. So first year of college, I had a guest lecturing professor, Dr. Lou Gillette, and he and his team would study polluted lakes and waterways in Florida. And this was in the mid 90s. And he was one of the first people to really sound the alarm on xenoestrogens and all of these estrogen mimicking chemicals in the environment. And he famously went before Congress to testify that men today have half the testosterone that their grandfathers had. And so he was really highlighting the generational declines we're seeing and the dysregulation in hormones. And I remember after his first lecture, he was talking about plastics and how plastics will leach these xenoestrogens out. And the next day, everybody, they traded in their plastic Nalgene water bottles, which were so fashionable in the mid 90s, for like glass canning jars for their water. Um,
Yeah.
and that really started my awareness of this. And as you get older, you notice, you notice these declines, or you wonder even, maybe I'm not noticing a decline, but I wonder maybe if my baseline where I'm at now is really not where I should be. Maybe I should be at a higher baseline and like everyone else should be. But we're all sort of laboring, our bodies are laboring under this additional load of these toxins in the environment. And so, with Optimus Red, it's, I think a lot about um, the good versus the perfect, right? And the perfect is the enemy of the good. And you're not, like, most people are not going to stand naked in front of a wall panel of red light. Like only crazy people like you are going to do this, Freddie, right? Like very few people are going to do that. It's expensive and it's just a little silly, right? You're standing there naked to try to, you're getting all these great benefits, of course, but
Yeah.
I think so much about like habits that are hard to keep are sort of useless. And so I think a lot about how can I make something that just seamlessly fits into your life? How can you make something that's wearable so you can walk around New York, or so you can walk into the grocery store, which I've done, or I've even worn it around the office. But that's a different story, just to test out the wearability, right? It's so for me, I I try to be as lazy as possible with everything. What I mean by that is that I know I have very little willpower and I can dedicate that
Mhm.
willpower only to certain things. And so if, if something is so easy to do that I really don't have an excuse, then I'm going to do it. If I'm going to have to stand naked in front of a wall panel for 15 minutes every day, I'm not going to do it. I just know that. And you probably can. I can't. I don't have the willpower you do. So yeah, so that's really the origin of all of that.
Well, I love your thought process. I've said this a lot lately. I love people. I don't
Yeah.
want anybody else to think the way I think. I like you said, Freddie Kimmel. Um, Part of my DNA is behavior change. I can make my psyche thirsty enough for the newness of a therapy and add it in, and then I just keep doing it. That's something that comes easy to me, and I understand that is not the way of the brain. That there's a lot of there are obstacles in the way, and everybody's views it as a different way. But I love to hear other people's experience of, I know myself. I know what I will do, and I know what I won't do. And I think that's brilliant to engineer for you, Joel, because I know there's
Yeah.
other people that think exactly and feel the way that you do out there. And I think that's the beauty of the human experience. Can you and I love that. So, and again, for people at home, again, imagine like just your the men, your
We don't,
genitals that are
I didn't know we
everybody
were going to
imagine your
go down the rabbit hole here on this.
just for a minute. I just want
Oh
to
yeah, yeah,
because it's this idea that we do know we're living in a world that is presenting unprecedented environmental stressors to our sex hormone, one of the
Yeah.
most important things to the species as we know it. And red light therapy to release nitric oxide and to help with circulation and blood flow. Again, how do you fit it into daily life? So if you told me I need 15 to 20 more minutes to do this therapy and I don't have it, or I can't make that change, what if it just fits in your clothing? And again, that idea, I just wanted to paint
Yeah.
that for people because it is important. And it'll bring us into your new invention. It'll bring us into Harmonizer eventually. We'll talk about how this is a device that just fits into life. There's not extra time. Um, and the other thing I want to just frame is like everything that I've gotten from you has been so simple and accessible in its application. There's a great cold pack that you had um, from the days of trying to get a cooler spine and to lower the body
Oh
temperature
yeah.
for optimal sleep, that I still have, that I was switching out bed cooling systems and I was without anything in Austin, Texas. It's 100 degrees. And so I undid this cool pack and put it under a towel and just laid it on my spine, and it worked wonderful for getting my body temp down cool enough for me to drop into sleep. So, yeah, I celebrate your ability to like see the field and see the need, and then to design for the human psyche, I guess is what I want to say.